That's not many derby games you sign Plymouth Argyle's leading scorer for the last couple of seasons, 3 or 4 days before the match. Tell us a bit about why you felt Ruben Reid was a good fit here.
The first thing I find myself correcting everyone at the moment is we've signed a free agent who played for Plymouth Argyle last season, so we haven't signed from Plymouth.
No,
he's been a free agent.
Nonetheless, he's been closely associated with Plymouth for the last 3 seasons.
No, I'm not avoiding that particular subject. Look, he's a very good proven striker at League 1, League 2 level. Perhaps a missing part of our jigsaw at the moment. I think we've got a good group of players if they're fit for looking at the season ahead. But maybe this is something which is going to give us an edge. So he was available at circumstances, and delighted to say we were able to secure his services in the last week. So the irony of ironies, we're playing Plymouth this Saturday. It'll be a big enough game without the added topic of Ruben, but he's an Exeter player now, and he's caused us problems before in the derby, as you well know, and he'll be wearing a red shirt on Saturday, and that's how football works sometimes.
How surprised were you that a player who scored the best part of 50 goals in League 2 in the last 3 seasons was available as a free agent come the middle of September?
Again, circumstances. Hasn't been my business. No. I've not been involved with that, and but it's been a strange summer. The new loan rules, the transfer windows. I mean, every now and then you get some kind of anomaly, and maybe this is it. So it's wonderful that we've had the opportunity to do it. It's great that the board have stretched themselves and done everything they can to make this work, and it's going to be, as always at Exeter, it's going to be pounds and pennies make every difference. But I have to say, it's a real big step for the club, and well done to them, and thank you very much for enabling us to do it. So it's not going to be, it's not thought through lightly. There was a lot of debate leading up to the offer that we made and the subsequent contract agreement. There was a lot of discussion, and we did it, and everyone discussed it, and we made the decision. So I think it's a really big step for Exeter as a club, and we just hope. And nothing's for certain. You can't guarantee anything in football, but it looks to be a really good addition to our squad.
How difficult was it to find the money? Because we know about the tight operating budgets that you have here at Plymouth, and a player like Ruben Reid isn't going to come for £150 a week, is it?
At Exeter, yeah, no, well, of course, that business is ours, of course, the details of it. Everything we spend is thought through, whether it's Ruben Reid or whether it's another packet of digestives for the waitress. And believe you me, we do discuss the packet of digestives, whether it's chocolate or not, and how many packets we can have. So all those things are discussed. So every penny we have to, every pound we have to spend, we have to consider it like it's our own money, and think of it in the same way. So be it a big purchase, a small purchase, it all adds up, and we're very, very conscious and responsible towards the owner being the supporters, and there's a spectrum. On the spectrum of being ultra safe and frivolous and reckless, you've got to find a balance somewhere in the middle, because you want to push things forward. Sometimes you've got to push it without putting yourself in a vulnerable position. So
kind of speculate to accumulate, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, again, on that spectrum, speculation is quite a large part of it. How far do you speculate? But let me tell you, for 10 years plus, I've been here. Every pound that we spend is discussed and thought through and decided upon. You take responsibility as a manager for the money you spend, and you do have to have that view. It's but every now and then we've got to push as much as we can. My job is to put those things in place at the board, and it's going to be a struggle to make all these things work. We've got the new 3G construction about to start here at the Cat and Fiddle in the next couple of weeks, and the Cliff Hill training ground in the next couple of weeks, and it's a big expense, but the club's moving forward. So we're not just throwing it all on the next centre forward.
No,
there's things going on around the club at the same time. So we've got to spread our expenditure.
How fit is he? Because he's obviously, hasn't played a game since Wembley in May, and I don't know how much of a pre-season he's had with any club, but he's clearly not going to, I would have thought, be up to the standards fitness-wise of somebody who's had a full pre-season with a team and played 10 league games.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So it's about getting the balance right, and I've got to be mindful of that. We want Ruben fit for the entire season, not just this Saturday. So we have to be very mindful of the fact that he's fit, physically fit, athletically fit, football fit is something he's not yet 100%. He can't be. So we've got to get that balance right as well. And how he plays, what part he plays over the next couple of weeks, will be determined by, the propensity for injury by putting him into a situation he's not yet up to speed with. So there's no right answer to that. It's a bit of a balancing act, but hopefully we'll get it right.
How does his personality fit in with the rest of the squad?
It's only been here a day.
How have you found him?
Great. I mean, I've known him for a long time. I've known his brother. His brother played for me at Bath University, and I've known the family's father in a long period of time. So it's he likes cricket as well,
which helps with you.
Instantly found some kind of affinity there. Yeah. So we I think when you start with any manager-player relationship, there has to be an element of expectation and making sure that expectation is measured and we agree on it. And if you get that part right at the start, then it's all upwards from there. So
you say you've got that expectation. What do you expect of him?
I expect him to play in our team and make a difference. So we'll see. It's early days. I mean, it's we're running the risk of speculating, or we're running the risk of not just concentrating on the next game, which is very much football and one at a time, and we need to edge this one in. It's not all about this Saturday for him. It's about the next couple of seasons, and then did a terrific job for Exeter, which I'm sure he will.
So has he agreed a multi-season deal then? What's the length of his deal here? Can you
well, anything that we agree on a contract, as you know, I keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
It's the sort of question I've got to ask.
Of course you have, yeah. But I don't sign a player just for it to be short term.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, a lot of the time the contract's one thing, but when a player's doing very well, which I hope he will, and other players do for Exeter, the contract sometimes becomes secondary to the next step in their career and what that is. So I think whatever the length of the contract, we'll be looking to do very well, and the player looks to do well, and it'll take its own path.
Yeah. Is it? I mean, it's a big game as it is. In some ways, does signing a player like Ruben Reid with his history at Plymouth Argyle, which is, for whatever anyone says, it's going to be the talking point about the game, does that in some way help your side? Because it kind of takes the pressure and the spotlight off the other 10 or even 11 players if Ruben doesn't start the game and is on the bench, that are going to be in the match.
Again, speculation, I don't know, we'll see. I mean, ask me that after the game, but when it comes to these games, as a manager, your view after the game is always tempered by your emotions, and maybe ask me on Monday, not 3 o'clock on Saturday. So there's so many variables involved. One particular variable doesn't have a bigger or the decisive impact on the game. I don't know. I mean, we certainly didn't make the signing with Saturday in mind. It's just circumstances, and it's an irony, I suppose. But these things tend to happen in football.
They do, don't they? And these things tend to come around, don't they? As far as this game is concerned, how much pressure is there on Exeter City to get a result here? Every
Devon derby I've been involved with has been pressure. The players, myself, we have responsibility to our supporters for the game, regardless of league position. League position, they're in a far healthier position than we are, but we're only 7 games into the season, and it's a long way ahead. 3 points at stake, but it's the Devon derby, and I'm not going to play that down. It means a lot to a lot of people. We have a responsibility, and we do our very, very best.
What do you love about the Devon derby game, especially at St James Park?
Winning them. It's a simple, and it's. I mean, last year the game we won. I mean, we could not have got a more sort of fairy tale finish to the game with Ollie Watkins' goal. But you'd have to say, for large parts of the game they edged it.
Yeah.
But it comes down to the final result, and that's what it's about. So sharing in over the last one day, when you look back over the Devon derbies, I don't know how many I've had here now, a dozen or so. You know, you share in the disappointment, you share in the wins and the excitement, and it means so much. Then you move on and you're on to the rest of the season, and you meet again later in the year, and it all comes around again, and it's been a wonderful experience to be part of it. I've shared in the disappointments and the exhilaration of it, and I'm glad to say I've had my fair share.
Just a final one from me. Let's say we're playing fantasy derbies from an Exeter point of view. A certain Mr. R. Reid comes off the bench or scores the winner in the last minute or whatever. What goes through your mind if that happens?
I'll leave that to you.